What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about some settings that every player needs to know about and should be using. And if you're not using these, or if you don't have these set up in the correct way, then you are absolutely missing out. I will admit that some of these will be personal preference, but some of them are going to be absolutely important to know about. So let's go. Now, I don't know what it is, but something tells me that Jagex really wants me to click this treasure hunter button. Why is the sound just permanently on? So for this first setting that we're going to start off with, the reason I'm going to start off with it is because I think it's like the most awesome and important one out of the whole list. So we're going to give you that straight away, and that is the camera controls. We're going to go to this and go to camera here. Now, in here, you see this camera mode. Most people are going to be on modern, or they're going to be on classic. Now, the reason that you want to be on one of these ones, freedom or freedom classic, is because it makes a hell of a lot of difference of your zoom. So you can see here, this is with the modern one, like just a regular one. I can zoom out this far. This is the max zoom out, nothing else is happening. If I go into settings here, then change this to freedom or freedom classic, you can then zoom out even further all the way back here, which is insanely helpful for bosses such as the Arc Glacier, because you can see a hell of a lot more. Like when you're zoomed in here, the Arc Glacier looks a little bit big. Like you can't really see him too much, right? You can see him, but like he's off screen. Zoom out with the other options, you can see the entire fight, giving you a little bit of a better advantage in this situation. Now you may also be thinking, what's the difference between freedom and freedom classic, or modern and modern classic? Well, modern, it tells you up here, but basically if you use modern, when you surge, your character will go first and then your camera will follow. If you have it on the other one, which is just classic or freedom classic, your guy will stay central the whole time. So you surge and your camera will go with it. I prefer the modern one and just regular freedom. I don't use freedom classic, I use freedom. I just find this a lot better. And another thing that you should know about the camera as well is the zoom sensitivity. I have it about here. I feel like that feels good for me. But if you want to zoom in faster or something, or less or anything like that, you can adjust it here, and it just makes it nice, a little bit better. But make sure you have the freedom options enabled. You can see so much more, and it is super useful in many situations. Another really important tool in your settings to know about is going to be your interface scaling. Now, this actually goes with a couple of things as well. If you have recently installed Windows, or maybe you have your Windows scaling for your display set to anything over 100%, this isn't going to line up well with RuneScape. So when you come into graphics here and scroll down, you have interface scaling. Now, I have it set to 100%, and my resolution here on full screen is the 1080p setting. Now, the issue that you may have with this is my interface fits quite a lot of stuff on this. If you are running into issues where you can't fit as much stuff on your interface as me or someone else that you maybe tried to copy your interface from, and your interface scaling is set to 100%, and you are on full screen, and you're like, what the frick? Why doesn't it work? There's a setting which I'll put on screen for you to look at right now. You go to your desktop, right click, press display settings or whatever it is, and then in there you can change the actual interface scaling of your whole Windows settings up a little bit or down a little bit. If you have this set to 125%, which I believe is the default for when you install a new set of Windows or anything like that, then you may run into issues with this not working. In that case, you want to just change this down. How you doing, Danarit? Thank you. I appreciate it, bro. What the hell? It's so kind. And then you can scale this down to 80%, and you'll be able to fit more stuff in there. Also, if you have insanely good eyes, you could just do this anyway and fit like everything you ever wanted on here. But I can't see any. This is too small for me, bro. This makes me feel like I need glasses a little bit. But either way, you can change your interface scaling here to either make it bigger if you're blind. I wouldn't recommend doing it at 250%, maybe like 110 or whatever, or you can make it like a lot smaller so you can fit more. But you better have glasses, because holy hell, I can't see. Do I need to get my eyes tested from this? I don't freaking know, bro. Can you guys see this and read this? This is crazy. I have it just set to 100, but there you go. Moving on, you want to know what the best setting in the whole entire game to get rid of is? Do you guys get that when you teleport? Like you have this, you teleport away, and then you have the RuneScape loading. Frick the loading screens, man. You can actually turn these off. Go to settings and then graphics, scroll down, loading screens, untick that. Untick loading. This is the only game I know that you can untick loading screens, man. But instead of having a loading screen, it will just load the actual thing in as you arrive. It actually makes it quicker. because you don't have to wait until the full thing renders before you can start moving. So if I go over here, I can immediately start moving before everything's finished rendering and actually get like, it's not a lot, but it really is something that is a lot nicer. Now, of course, if you have a lower end PC, you probably want to keep these on, but if you can run RuneScape absolutely fine, then turn them off. Don't have them on. They're just a nightmare. Like, yeah, get rid of these stupid things, man. Another one that I see way too much, and to be fair, this one is a personal preference, but you got to know about it at least. And that is when you come down to gameplay, interfaces, and appearance, in here, you can actually have these two settings here enabled. Slim headers, which will use a smaller title bar for action windows such as backpack and stuff, which we'll show you in a second. And you can also have hide title bars when locked, so when you lock your interface. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna unlock the interface. Here you can see an example of a slim header. It doesn't have a full thing. When I untick this, you'll notice it says backpack, worn equipment, magic, cursors, so you know what it is. For a beginner, I guess this is kind of useful because you know what you're looking at, so leave these on for sure, why not? But for anybody else, if you want a nice, clean look, you can actually just get like rid of this to hide the title bars when locked and some headers, because if you don't have the title bars when it's locked, you'll actually still have these on there, and you can see that the little blue extra top bit. They're serving no purpose whatsoever. Hide them, boom. It's nice and clean. It's so straight. It's so tidy. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Don't ever question my interface. I have had some bad interfaces in the past, but right now this is beautiful. But yeah, have these enabled, man. If you didn't know about these, now you do. They make a world of difference. Use them. They're just super nice. Next one that you need to know about, and you absolutely should be having set up, is going to be warning screens. Warning screens are so important, and they keep your account safe, and everybody should absolutely be using these. Now, the reason you want to look at your warning screens is because in here you have bank pin settings. High risk area entry, the bank pin. So basically you can toggle what areas and what sort of things you're going to need to have these ticked, and then you'll need to enter your bank pin whenever you actually do this. High value drop warning, for example, requires bank pin to have been entered during the session before dropping high value items. So for example, if you log off, if I logged off right now and this was unticked, what could happen is if I get my account hacked, someone comes in, they have to use the bank pin to access my bank. They have to use the bank pin to access my coin pouch, but they don't have to use the bank pin to unequip all of this and throw it on the floor. They could throw it on the floor nice and easy, no problems, no worries, no questions asked from Jagex, because this setting isn't enabled. Now, of course, if I hadn't entered my bank pin already on this session, I would need to enter it to be able to disable this. Like, I'm not going to be able to change this and then just do it. It's not how that works. But this is definitely something you can do. Another one that is useful is require pin every login. I don't use this right now because I constantly am like timing out and stuff. But if I was going to, for example, like need this for any specific reason, if I was maybe going to log in on any other computer, maybe you would enable this first. Or if you are going to be streaming with, I don't know, a lot of wealth or whatever, maybe you would enable this, that sort of thing. If you think your account is in any way a target, then you would enable this sort of thing. High risk area entry is for the wilderness. So if you want to go to the wilderness, obviously if you enable PvP, you would have to enter a bank pin before you go here. Or if you want to use like toggle the PvP thing, it'll ask you to enter the bank pin before you toggle the PvP as well. So obviously check these and make sure you have them set up in the way that you want, because it's just super useful. These are the most important things probably on this whole list in terms of like, you have to do this, like check this out. Put something with it though, is when you come to your bank, if you go down to bank pin, you can actually change your recovery delay as well. I have this set to 7 days because this is the longest that you can have it. You can have it on 3 or you can have it on 7. And I would absolutely have this set to 7 because this means if someone does manage to get into your account and change your password, it gives you longer to react to being able to recover your account back, contact Jagex, that sort of thing. If you go away for a holiday and then 3 days before you get back, your account gets hacked, it gives you that extra time to get home, realize that it's not actually like available, you can't log in anymore, then you have longer to react to stuff. If you get a message saying your account's been hacked or recovered or anything like that, then it just gives you longer. So have that set to that, and it means that any hackers have to wait longer before removing your bank pin. So definitely do that. So here's one for you returning players or you newer players who maybe haven't stumbled across this yet. For you returning players, remember back in the day you would come do some fishing, and then once you've either caught all the fish that you want, you are going to either cook it on a fire, then drop the burnt stuff, or go to the bank and bank it all off. And you would either drop the stuff that you didn't want, you'd have to do this, and it was a nightmare. Well, actually recently Jagex added a shift click to drop option in your settings, so you can now shift and left click these, and boom, you can drop them so nicely. This is something that's been in old school for a while. It's definitely something that a lot of players have wanted for a while. But so to do this, you're going to go into settings, then gameplay, interfaces, and then inventory, and then you're going to have drag to drop items or shift click to drop items as well. And as long as you have shift click to drop in items enabled, you just hold shift and then you left click, and boom, you're going to be able to drop those from your inventory. Now, to chuck another bit of information in with this is a little bit of a bonus, which isn't really a setting, but it's just worth knowing about, and I just like to talk about this one whenever I think of it. Is you can actually drag items from your bank and destroy them. So if you're cleaning your bank, you don't have to take them out into your inventory and then drop them. Just go in your bank, drag something off, and boom, it is gone. So another thing to know about there. And that is it for this one. If you found something useful, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and other than that, I'll catch you all in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.